Hi, Claude Whitacre here. I'm a sales trainer. I give seminars to salespeople. I'm a speaker. I give keynote addresses to groups of salespeople and at conventions across the United States. I'm also an author of several books on the subject of selling, and I also read a lot of books on the subject of selling and sales and psychology and how the mind works and success, about how to make more money. I read a lot of books on that as well. One of the books I've read recently, and I just got this book and I just read it, was The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Now, almost everybody that I know that has made $1 million or more a year in their business, almost everybody I know has read the book Think and Grow Rich. If you have been in business sales for more than a month, or you've been in business for more than a year, you've heard of Think and Grow Rich. Okay, it's one of the most popular books on success in the world. It's one of the most popular books on Amazon. It's Think and Grow Rich, and the other book is How to Win Friends and Influence People. But let's talk about success. I think this book might actually be the new Think and Grow Rich, The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Okay. Now, when you're talking about success, one of the things that people that are not as successful as you, one of the things I like to bring up is ethics. Because to a lot of people, if you're really doing a lot of activity and generating a lot of business, if that person's not doing a lot of business, sometimes they're really happy for you that you're doing a lot of business. But if they're in the same business you are, sometimes it's uncomfortable for them. If you're doing 10 times the business that they are, sometimes they're thinking, well, he must be doing something wrong. Because they have to kind of justify why they are doing what they're doing. Because first thing is, if you're 10 times as successful as they are, it's impossible to ignore that being 10 times more successful is possible. Because there you are, being 10 times more successful than they are. Okay? So sometimes they have to, it bruises their ego. It makes them feel bad. So they have to kind of guard against that. So one of the ways they do that is they think, oh, he must be doing something unethical. Okay? He must be cheating or lying or stealing, or he's doing something. I don't know what he's doing, but I'm certainly not that guy. My standards are higher than his because I'm not doing these unethical things that he must be doing to create all of this business. Okay? One of the things that Grant Cardone says is this. A quote in here is, he says, I consider it unethical not to fully utilize the gifts, talents, and mind with which I have been blessed. Now, to me, what that means is this. When you're talking about ethics, talk about, are you living up to your potential? See? A popular, now this is, I didn't get this out of the book, but a popular saying that I hear is that nobody ever goes to their grave wishing that they spent more time in their office. Now what that means is this, okay, you should, when you go to your grave, you should think more about your family, it's more important that relationships, and of course all of that is true. The problem is the people hearing that a lot of times are using that as justification for not doing as well. In other words, if they're saying, well, I'm living, he's wealthy and he's not smarter than I am, or he doesn't have more hours in the day than I do. He doesn't know his business. I know my business better than he does, and he's really successful. Well, how do they justify that? They go, well, he's doing things that they're wrong or unethical. Okay, they have to guard against just saying, I'm just not doing as much as what that guy is doing. Okay, so they have to say, well, he's not doing his relationships as well as I am, or he's not a family man as much as I am, or he doesn't have hobbies, he doesn't have other interests, he's just really all about the money. Well, usually that's not completely true, okay? But when people are really successful, they think about doing successful things, and they do the things that make them successful. One of the main differences between somebody that's really wealthy and somebody that's not wealthy, the person that's really wealthy simply does things that create wealth. It's as simple as that. They're doing day in and day out things that create more wealth. The people that are not quite as successful are doing things day in and day out that do not create as much wealth. All right? So when you're talking about ethics, really, the people that are successful, sometimes they are crooks. I mean, there are people that are embezzlers and things like that. But for the vast majority of them, they're very moral people. You don't become wealthy by cheating people over a long period of time. You become wealthy by giving service, by being dependable, by being able to be trusted with large sums of money. I always like that. I always like that saying one of the reasons that people are so wealthy is because they can be trusted with large sums of money. Okay, there's a lot in this book. I have to tell you, the 10X Rule by Grant Cardone, I think it might be the new Think and Grow Rich. I'd get it. You can't have my copy. Thank you.